every time that calendar flips, especially at the new year, there's this incredible pull. It's this universal desire for a fresh start. We tell ourselves we're going to discard old habits, we promise this reinvention, and we genuinely believe that just because the date changed, all our baggage just vanished.
It's the ultimate fantasy, isn't it? The clean slate.
It is.
But the sources we looked at this week, especially one really sharp opinion piece, suggest that this reset we're always chasing is, well, it's mostly a myth. A comforting illusion we use to avoid dealing with the past.
Okay, let's unpack this. So we are diving deep into this powerful idea that our past experiences aren't just, background noise.
Not at all.
They actively, inevitably shape every single step of the future we're trying to build. The slate is never really clean.
That's right. And so our mission today is to give you, the listener, the tools to see the difference between a superficial restart, the kind that fails by February, and genuine, lasting, meaningful change.
And we're going to follow this idea through some pretty intense areas.
We are. We're going from spiritual beliefs about existence to our most intimate personal relationships, and then right into the cold, hard world of political accountability.
Let's start with maybe the biggest reset concept of all, reincarnation. There was this great little story in the source material about a poster that said, "You only live once, so make the most out of it."
Right.
And someone had stuck a little note right next to it that said, "Except if you're Hindu or Buddhist."
And that little note is just a perfect intellectual trapdoor, because even in faiths that believe in a return to life, the entire system is built on, well, historical debt. The core component is not a blank slate.
So it's not like hitting new game and just forgetting the last playthrough.
Precisely. No. If you look at the concept of karma, or even just the purpose of living again, it's all about repairing suffering you caused. It's about making amends and, crucially, learning the hard lessons you missed the first time around.
So your actions in this life directly dictate the circumstances of the next one.
Directly. The article mentioned, you might be reborn into a wealthy, supportive family, or you could be demoted.
Right, into an insect or something.
Into an insect, yeah. Which is a pretty powerful incentive to get it right this time. It shows that even a cosmic restart is absolutely conditional on your past.
So the past isn't discarded. It's the curriculum.
It's the comprehensive curriculum for your future.
Exactly. And you don't even have to believe in a literal rebirth to see this pattern playing out in our own lives.
Oh, absolutely not. That framework, it just transfers seamlessly to our personal resets.
Which, of course, brings us to relationships. I mean, we've all been burned. We've all started a new relationship, just hoping, praying to wipe away the scars of pain and betrayal from the last one. We want that new beginning, but is it actually possible to leave that baggage behind?
Well, the source says no, it's not. The reality is that pain, it doesn't just vanish, it transforms.
It transforms into what?
It morphs into new behaviors. Maybe you become more guarded, maybe more cynical. Or maybe you just can't bring yourself to trust someone when you really should. It literally changes the geometry of vulnerability in your life.
Okay, but wait, if we're carrying that burden into the future, doesn't that mean our current partner is sort of paying the price for mistakes they didn't even make?
Yes.
That seems so unfair.
That is the tragedy of the reset myth. But here's where we find a bit of a silver lining. Not all baggage is toxic. That pain, it can also transform into wisdom.
Okay.
We see this all the time, and it's a tough one to swallow. The source gave this example. Friends complaining that their once irresponsible exes became these amazing, mature partners for the people who came after them.
Oh, that is painfully true.
Yeah.
So the ex didn't actually reset. They just took the wisdom they gained from causing all that pain.
And applied it effectively to the next person.
They learn on someone else's dime.
Exactly. Maturity isn't about ignoring the past and starting fresh. It's about rigorously integrating those lessons. The fact that the next partner benefited proves the person didn't wipe the slate clean. They just learned a new way to write on it.
And that transition from our internal emotional baggage to the external constraints we face, that's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because the modern world makes even the pretense of a fresh start almost impossible.
Yeah, the digital age has basically demolished our ability to compartmentalize a public image. That external constraint is just massive. and relentless.
I mean, trying to craft a whole new persona when an employer or even just a new friend can spend 30 seconds searching your entire history.
It's a lost cause. Your digital footprint is the ultimate non-erasable record of your past.
And it's not just digital. The source brought up tight-knit social networks, like the Filipino community it mentioned, where your reputation just precedes you.
Right, because the people who knew your old self have direct links to your new environment. The circles always overlap eventually. Your reputation follows you.
So that's the external world crashing the party. But let's say you manage it. You somehow craft this perfect, pristine, new external image. The internal baggage, that's still there.
Oh, it is. You carry your fears and anxieties with you, no matter what the new job title is or where the new apartment is. We see this all the time with the dreaded imposter syndrome.
Right.
You can have the corner office, the impressive resume, everyone respects you, but that little voice of self-doubt, that internal baggage from past failures, comes right along with you.
So why do we even try? Is it just a deep human need to believe in that clean break?
I think we crave the relief of it, but the fundamental takeaway is that the environment can change, the scenery changes, but the core person doesn't just instantly reboot.
The reset is always incomplete.
At best, we are still grappling with the unfinished business from our previous self. The internal consequences are always there.
And this myth of the reset, it moves from being just personally inconvenient to genuinely dangerous when we start applying it to accountability on a political level.
Absolutely. The source argues that political actors are, well, they're incentivized to promote the idea of a reset, an election, a new administration.
It's the perfect escape mechanism.
It is. It helps them wipe the public memory, reset citizens' expectations, and dodge accountability for their own historical failures.
And we hear that denial all the time. Oh, that was the work of the previous administration.
Constantly.
But what's so fascinating is how often that line gets used halfway or even 3/4 of the way through a current term. It's an attempt to draw this arbitrary line in the sand.
And demand a fresh start for their record, yeah. Even when they're clearly responsible for the ongoing consequences. And beyond just the words, politicians use structural resets strategically.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about when one governmental body transitions to another, like this shift from the 19th to the 20th Congress. That procedural changeover is used as a deliberate reset button.
To clear the boards.
Exactly. To undo established processes, bury controversial decisions, or just abandon things like impeachment proceedings.
So it's not just new faces. It's using the administrative change itself as a smokescreen to jettison responsibility.
Yes, exactly. It's using the calendar as a tool for political amnesty. And this leads to the source's sharpest point. The difference between something that's truly new and something that's just dressed up as new.
Right. Tell us about that budget example. Because on the surface, discussing the 2026 national budget, it all sounds like a big departure from older, more corrupt ways of doing things.
It sounds progressive, designed to fix an infamously corrupt past. But if you connect this to the bigger picture, a deeper look shows that while the vocabulary and the names of the procedures have changed,
We're still using the same methods.
they are still using the exact same modus, the same operating method, the same playbook.
It's just a rebrand.
It's just a rebrand. They're operating under the guise of something new. The source concluded that what looks new and fresh can actually be a very clever cover for something old and rotten.
And the public's desire for change just makes us vulnerable to that. We want to believe it's different this time.
Because the illusion of movement, the promise of reform, is often more palatable than admitting that the same old stagnation and corruption are still going on. It lets the cycle continue without the burden of memory.
Which brings us to the big question then. What does this all mean for us? If the new year isn't a true reset, if a new administration is just repackaging old problems, what's the actual path forward?
The alternative is a conscious recommitment, not a reset. We have to stop thinking about past, present, and future as these isolated blocks of time.
We have to see the cycles.
We have to recognize we are living in perpetual cycles. We have lived the same stories, relationship failures, professional stagnation, political frustration over and over again.
And a reset just hits the loop button. It restarts the cycle, but it doesn't change the code.
Exactly. And this is where the source brings in a really powerful idea from psychoanalytic theory. The theory says that remembering is the prerequisite for change.
Not forgiving, not forgetting.
No.
Remembering.
Remembering the pattern. Remembering that we have been here before in our relationships, our careers, our civic lives. That awareness is the only thing that interrupts the destructive pattern.
So by remembering the consequences, We finally get the chance to choose differently.
Yes. We gain the power to stray from our well-worn story and finally change the ending.
So change isn't about throwing away the pain or the failure. It's about pooling together all the wisdom from the past, even the embarrassing parts, and using that.
That is the ultimate challenge for the year ahead. Commit to changing the story by becoming a vigilant historian of your own life.
And that absolutely includes recommitting to demanding accountability in our civic lives, especially looking toward 2026. If we don't remember the modus of the past, we are guaranteed to fall for the new guys in the future.
Genuine progress is never about escaping the past. It's about integrating its full, complex wisdom into a stronger, more informed present.
Indeed. If we just accept the political reset as the same old methods under a clean new label, we're complicit in letting that cycle continue. We have to demand memory, both from our leaders and from ourselves.
So consider this. If the political reset is just the same modus under new guise, think about where in your own life, in your career, your habits, your finances, you might be accepting a superficial guise instead of demanding fundamental change.
What's one cycle you'll commit to remembering?
What is that one specific repetitive cycle you're now aware of that you will commit to remembering this year to make sure you break it for good?
Use that wisdom. Commit to changing the story.
Until next time.
Dig deep.